What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review. Today we are talking about Eternals, a movie that I think doesn't get enough love. People are really hating on this movie, and I think that's mostly because they tried to introduce 10 new characters. Most people can't even remember their names. Here's a pop quiz for me. Let's see if I can do it from left to right. Kango, Makari, Druig, Sprite, Ajax, Cersei, Icarus, Gilgamesh, Thena, Phastos. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, I can do that shit. 10 for 10. 10 new characters. I love how they did it. It's a group. They didn't have to introduce them one at a time. They didn't have to explain that Makari's deaf and she does sign language. Like, I fucking love it. They just made things happen. They didn't make a big deal about it. And, you know, they established another story in the MCU. Is this story set in our MCU? Is it set in a different multiverse? I don't know. But all we do know is that there's a giant celestial head hanging out of the Indian Ocean, and we're all upset about it because we haven't heard a thing about it since. Now, Captain America 4, New World Order, or whatever it's called now, Brave New World, is, I think, going to acknowledge Tiamat's corpse in the ocean, and I think that's going to be a main plot of that movie. Will the Eternals show up in that movie? Who knows? They didn't show up in Endgame, so maybe they won't show up ever again. But no, they should. I think there should be a second Eternals movie, because the way that this movie ends, and just like the scale of this movie, right? It goes through a bunch of periods of time. They show you Babylon, they show you BC, they show you a bunch of shit. You know, they show you Hiroshima, because Phastos is like technology-based guy. I love that Angelina Jolie's sexy ass is in this as Thena. You know, she was one of the best parts of this movie. I think my favorite parts of this movie is Druig and Makari's relationship. I kind of ship them. Kumail Nanjiani's Kingo is hilarious. By far the funniest person in this movie. Cersei, I kind of really like. Icarus and Sprite, screw them. Ajax, Selma Hayek's fine ass, love that. They kill her off. Don't love that. Gilgamesh gets killed off as well. You didn't have to kill them. I thought if they were Eternals and they die, they're not so eternal, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but the scale of the Celestials, right? Like, they had to show scale. So, what do you have this giant celestial in front of? The sun. The planet. You can see 3 little specks that look like dust in his hand. And what is he holding? But people. He is ginormous. He looks battle-scarred. He has the 6 light eyeballs. The first time we see him, we hear that deep voice. And it's like a little portion of his face. You see Salma Hayek's character, and then you just see these big glowing eyeballs. But then then Cersei becomes the person that can talk to the Celestials, because Ajax's dead, and he explains things to her, explains the universe, explains other Celestials. We see him in a different form. We see Celestials just walking on this planet. Like, is that the sky? And they're just like, is that the clouds in the sky, and it only goes up to their shins, and they're just like walking on the planet and they're in space? Like, they're so big, and I gotta see more of them. Like, is the rest of the MCU from this point forward like building towards fighting Celestials? That's insanity, and I love it. I love it so much. Things I hate about this movie: Kit Harington's character, right? Jon Snow, King of the North. You know, like, the man himself did nothing but stand next to Cersei, go, Cersei! Pick up a flower petal. Like, that's all he did, you know, and he's, you know, a human. But I do love the tease at the end of this movie. He looks down at this blade, the ebony blade, for his now future role as maybe Black Knight, Dark Knight, something like that. No, the Dark Knight's Batman. So I think it's Black Knight, and you can see the sword. It almost has like a symbiote, like, goo to it. It's like attracted to his hands, and is this blade infected with like venom symbiote type idea? I don't know. It kind of looks like it though. But either way, I really can't wait to see Kit Harington again. And then the second post-credit scene brings Harry Styles and Pip, and Pip's, Patton Oswalt, but, like, Harry Styles as an Eternal? Like, that's insanity. So we have Harry Styles as an Eternal, we have Kit Harington, the God of the North, we have Angelina Jolie. Like, this movie had a lot of studs in it, you know, and even just all the Eternals were studs. I'm trying to think, I feel like there was somebody else in there, too. But I love this movie. I think it's highly underrated. I think people will love this movie more once we get in Eternals 2, or like they show up somewhere else, or the Cap 4 that I was saying earlier. So hold your judgment, people. I know it's only one film and a lot of people hated it, but I think CLHOE ZHAO did a good job. I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. But comment below. I would love to hear your ranking. I'd love to hear where this sits in your MCU ranking. How did you score this movie out of 5 stars or 10 stars? And I will talk to you guys in the next video. We'll be talking about Multiverse of Madness and why it may be the perfect Halloween movie. But I will see you guys in the next video. Follow all my links and my other social medias down in the description below. Check me out on Letterboxd. And I hope you guys have a good week. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.